Hey everybody, Card Bandit here. What I want to do today is talk about the thumb fan. Now there are a lot of different resources on this fan, so I just wanted to give you my own take on it, and for completeness sake of the channel, just put up the tutorial video for this, just so you guys maybe have a different couple views on how to do this maneuver, even though it is fairly commonly found in a lot of different places and you have a lot of resources for it. So let's get right into it. Here's how it works. Or at least this is how I do it. There are many different variations on the thumb fan, so here's how I do it though. What I do is I have my middle finger and my pointer finger come along the back side of the deck. Like so. The thumb is going to act as a pivot point. And this is crucial for the fan. So say I've got these two fingers coming along the back, and the thumb presses against the cards as a pivot point. Now there are many different ways you can adjust the thumb, and you have to do what feels comfortable for you. So you have to play around with this for a bit, especially if you're just starting out. I like to have it around there. So that's where I like to have my thumb. Some people like it to have their thumb closer to the edge, have different types of fans that way, or some people like to have it farther to the end of the deck like so. And you get different effects from your fans that way. Essentially, your thumb is like a pivot point of a compass, okay? So, you can either have your thumb sideways, like I enjoy, or you can have your thumb as like a pressure point, like a single point, to rotate the cards around. So there's a lot of different variation on how you can hold the deck in terms of doing a thumb fan. Now let's get into a little bit on how, now that you've got how to hold the deck and the different variations, let's talk about actually performing the fan. So I want you to see the difference between a deck like this and a deck like this. So this is an unbeveled deck, so the cards aren't angled at all. That is a beveled deck. So the cards have a slight angle there. And there's a bevel the other way. So I'd recommend playing around with beveling the cards and angling the cards with, say, your thumb and your fingers, just so you can get an idea of what that feels like. You don't have to do it very long, but just get an idea as to how it feels to bevel the cards in your hand. Beveled, unbeveled, beveled. It's a very small maneuver, but that is what helps you do the fan. So as I come across, you're going to see that I've beveled the cards. So I'm ready to do the fan, and I bevel. The cards are slightly beveled before I do the fan. So that's what you do before you actually perform the fan. You actually have the fan in the grip, and then you bevel the cards. Like so. And then you're going to drag your thumb across the deck, using this thumb as the pivot. So you essentially sort of drag this thumb across, and as you use this thumb, to pivot the cards around. Now you can close the fan with the other hand, or you have the alternative to do a one-handed close, which looks like that. Now the one-handed close is performed by bringing in your index finger, okay, and then you're going to pull it, you're going to push these cards over using this finger as another pivot point. Now you'll get the cards to here, so you have a little bit left, and to get the cards the rest of the way, you pull out your middle finger and you pull the rest of the cards in from underneath, and you can square up the deck. So let's go over this one more time. You've got the cards held in whichever grip you feel more comfortable in, but essentially you've got these two fingers are on the back, and you use the thumb in whichever position you like as a pivot. You then use this thumb to bevel the cards and drag it around to make the fan. Then you can close up by curling in the index finger, pushing the cards over, releasing with that middle finger while holding on with the index finger, and closing up with the middle. Now, a way to get a big fan. So you may start off with like a small fan, like so, or even just trying to get the fan in general, which is going to take a little bit of practice, but once you've got how the pivot point works and how the beveling works for the fan, it's going to be a lot easier to get bigger fans. Now this is how you can get a bigger fan. You have the cards like this in your regular grip, and then you can angle them back. So this is where you can start off normally, and then you angle them back a little bit into the crotch of the thumb. Now what this is going to do is it's going to allow a little bit more of a fanning in the fanning motion. So you're going to get a little bit more area out of your fan if you have the cards back a little bit. So you gain about that much room in your fan, which makes it look nicer. So angling the cards back though can be a little bit awkward, especially when you're starting out. So I'd recommend starting out with the fan straight up and down, and then try angling back as you progress forward with doing the fan. Now the reason that having it angled back can be tricky is because you might run out of room as the cards come back around. Because the further you have it into the hand, the harder it's going to be to pivot those cards around. Because you might find that the cards are getting stuck in the palm there. That's going to take some work just to figure out where you feel most comfortable with the deck and how far the deck can come up while still being gripped with those two fingers. It's going to take a lot of practice, and you may even find that you only grip the deck with one finger eventually. But it's going to take a lot of practice and a lot of personal preference as to how you hold the deck when you fan. And there's a lot of other resources, and I'll post some of them into the description box, so that way you can just have a few more resources in learning how to do the thumb fan. I hope those tips help, guys, and if you have any questions or comments, leave them in the comment section below, and I hope to see you in the next couple videos. Thanks. Have a good one.